It is qualifying heat B versus G for the OK Junior category coming up next after quite a lengthy
wave from the gantry. Let's take you through the grid for this latest heat in OK Junior. Roman Kamiab on pole position. Devin Waltz alongside on the front row. Turner Brown and Jarrett Clark mean it's a Ricky Flynn on the inside, a Forza Racing driver on the outside for the first two rows. Rocco Coronel and Riley Cranham go from row 3. Cole Denham and Nat Johnston form up an all-British row 4. Sam Woolley needs a good result here in this one, but unfortunately does not take the start, unfortunately there, so will not be starting on row 5 alongside Gian Matteo Rousseau. Alexander Dahlstrom and Daniel Kelleher on row 6, Bosco Arias and Marco Gast row 7, Jesse Phillips and Joel Pockeler on row 8, ahead of Andrea Mani and Matteo Rivals on row 9.
Row number 10 sees Gustavo da Silva and Edward Kennedy round out the top 20. Then you see Asher Osteen and Levi Sangara on row 11. Yuri Lavar and Roland Nagy on row 12. They'll have Kinish Rao and Fostal Nardo on row 13. Vanessa Shilkanate and Kerry Fairhand on row 14. They'll have Gilles Herman and Evan Purcell on row 15, giving us our top 30. Lucas Carrera and Marcel Totaro on row 16. Then it's Zachary Dole and Toby Gale rounding out the 34-car grid. But, of course, 2 drivers missing brings us down to 32 cars out there.
Nat Johnston being the other one for Jamie Green Racing, who does not take the start. We've not had any reports to us in the box of any missed gates or anything of that nature. So we do hope that both Nat Johnston and Sam Woolley are okay. And hopefully we might see them later on, because if there is a situation, of course, if they've had an incident that needs to be medically cleared before they go back out on track. So 8 minutes for groups B and G. Roman Kamiab, knowing that another good score here would put him back to the top of the intermediate classification. That's currently got Nicholas Schaufler at the top of it with 179 points from a possible 200. Kamiab in that close battle with Craigie, Costoya, Slater 2 points back, Crayling still there. And well, we're kind of in that phase where some drivers have got 1 race in hand, some of them have got 2. So this will all kind of congregate towards the end of today. So no reason for Nicholas Schaufler fans to think, oh, it's all done, you know, near the 20-point lead. No, it is still very, very close out there. Drivers into the latter parts of the Mike Wilson complex, Anthony. But the one driver with their hand up in the air, so we might not go this time.
Yeah, that looks to me like that is that Cole Denham or is that Alexander Dahlstrom? I think it's Dahlstrom who should be starting this one on the 6th row of the grid. Let's see if we are going. The lights go out and we are racing, and it's a quick defensive charge over to the right-hand side for Roman Kamiab. The rest of the field get through the first corners unscathed into the banking then for the first time, and it's a good getaway then for Kamiab. Turner Brown as well holds on to 2nd place, and it's kind of a carbon copy of what we saw earlier on today in their race. Only this time Rocco Coronel has not got up into 3rd place. He is still there in P4, as it is Devin Waltz who leads that 2nd group of karts.
A good start for Kamiab, good aggressive start to control the pace of those on the outside, P2, P4, etc, etc. Kamiab and Brown, I'm sure there's discussions going on in the Ricky Flynn Motorsport awning of how to prepare for each of these races, particularly for Turner Brown. He'll be learning more and more as the heats tick on by about the little subtleties of how this OK Junior field race at the FIA Karting World Championships. You know, drivers are starting to get that familiarity of who's starting ahead of them, who's starting behind. At the end of the first lap, Kamiab leads from Brown. Devin Waltz there in 3rd place, Coronel in 4th. Good start for Joel Pockeler, Anthony. He's gained 6 places. The Finn is up into the top 10.
Certainly is. Oh, big lunge there. Big defensive lunge for, looks to me like Turner Brown. And, yeah, Rocco Coronel not able to get through. And he's gone down a little bit there in the order. And now they're backing themselves up here as Cranham, Clark Rousseau, Denham, Kelleher, and Pockeler start to close in as well. It looks like Bosco Arias just at the back also trying to get involved in this one. But Turner Brown is making that Ricky Flynn kart as wide as it possibly can be on this lap. There you can see the Sodi kart of Cranham trying to get down the inside. Oh, that is as close as you like to be. The track action there is very narrow. You have to be careful because you try and go too wide, it's not going to work out. We go live on board with Turner Brown for a full lap here at the PF International Circuit. Flat out through the Bruno Ferrari S's. Beautiful run there, up the banking through turn number 3. It continues round onto turn 4 as down the inside goes Coronel, down the inside goes Cranham as he goes wheel to wheel with one off the Litchfield Bridge. Now you go flat out, down the infield straight. It's downhill 200 metres here in towards turn 6 of hairpin number 1. You can see here again the physicality of the lap. In towards hairpin number 2 again. Great places for overtaking opportunities, but not this time around as Turner Brown holds on to his position. Another long straight in towards the Fullerton S's. Fullerton S's is part 1, then part 2, as you quickly have to negotiate turn number 9 of the Fullerton S's and Bobby Kane corner of turn number 10. Out of Bobby Kane corner, then comes the long Mike Wilson complex all the way throughout turns 11, 12, 13 and 14, and then it's Pitts Bend to round out the lap here at turn 15, and you're back on the start-finish straight. A great lap there for Turner Brown, but he did lose out in some places because, of course, through went Coronel and through went Cranham.
Yeah, it just showed great how the control of the drivers there at the front of the field, dancing their karts around PF International. I believe we've had a change for the lead. Yes, we have. Devin Waltz has gone through past Roman Kamiab. Taking it there on lap number 3. Kamiab's not going to give this one up, though. They've got a good gap to Coronel behind. Let's have a look at a replay. I reckon this is going to be how it was done. It was down into hairpin number 1. Textbook move from Devin Waltz. Nicely orchestrated there. And I think these two will just hold for the next lap or so. They want to grow that gap, but they know how big a threat Rocco Coronel is. They don't want to let the Dutch driver back into the equation at this middle part of the race, so Kamiab will probably just sit there for the next lap and a half.
I can imagine so, but that brings us on to our next favourite game of spotting sector times throughout this one. And, well, so far throughout this race, we have seen some good sectors throughout, but we'll keep a close eye on them. Gareth Fairhand picking up a warning flag as we keep an eye on this gap. It's 1.9 seconds between Coronel and our race leader at the moment, Devin Waltz. But let's see what happens. Jesse Phillip, though, setting the fastest lap of the race, is pushing through nicely in the field. It's currently up into P9 and is battling away at the moment. Bosco Arias, Marco Gas just behind.
Indeed. So we are into the second half of this one. Joel Pokola's progress is continuing. He's up into the top 5 now. This is the fight involving the 265 Riley Cranham. Yeah, he's lost a little bit of pace, it would seem, in this race. He's gone backwards. He's now got the attentions of Jesse Phillips, Bosco Arias in there as well, and Marco Goss. Marco Goss, this is a good run, needs it, because he's had problems so far this weekend. Back with the leaders, Waltz and Kamiab. Last time around, 56.3 for Waltz, 56.4 for Kamiab, 56.4 as well for Coronel. So it's fairly even Stevens at the moment across the top 3 in terms of race pace. So whilst that is happening, I think again Kamiab will be thinking, let's just stay here in second place. We don't need to do anything unnecessary at this stage. Coronel is not closing in at the moment. Turner Brown still there in 4th place. He's being reeled in though by Joel Pokola, so Joel Pokola could be having a go in the not too distant future. Also moving up through the order, Kanish Grau, Anthony, the driver running for Sodi Karts this weekend, up 10 spots into the top 15.
Yes, indeed. Again, good runs throughout this entire field as well. So we'll keep a close eye on those ones. What does this do to the intermediate classifications, though? Kamiab, currently sitting there in 2nd place, would retake the lead, 200 points to his name, and you would think that was 4 race wins, as unfortunately there, the 320 going no further. That is Lucas Guerreiro there as well from Brazil. A DNF for the Ricky Flynn Motorsport driver. Not a good start to the day.
Yeah, it's been a tough World Championship so far as Kamiab's made the move. Kamiab has made the move, but has he got it done? Because back comes Waltz. Yes, he has. Good pace, good power for Roman Kamiab off of hairpin number 2. Now, the next sector is really key for me, Anthony, because if Kamiab can break away, just give himself a lead of a kart length or 2, put it in the mind of Devin Waltz to say, don't try it. Don't try and throw one down the inside on the last lap. Kamiab should be on the way here, but Waltz is going to have the benefit of the toe. Drafts to the back of the rear bumper there, onto Kamiab's rear bumper once again as they nearly come together, going up onto the bridge. Warning flag for Joel Pokola. down into hairpin 1. This is going to be a key run now. Kamyab's going to sit it to the middle of the road. He's going to force Waltz if he's going to want to overtake to go around the outside. Picking up off the corner here, really key for Kamyab because he's going to hold it down to driver's left, middle of the road again. Next challenge to get off of the corner. Kamyab cuts across once more. Defence for Waltz. Waltz, realistically, one more opportunity here into Bobby Game corner. Kamyab's aware of it. Once again, sits in the middle of the road. Waltz has a little look. Kamyab's just got to thread it through the Mike Wilson complex, and he's going to take victory.
He certainly is. A nice overtake to get into this position, and a great defensive lap there for Roman Kamyab. He'll add to his tally and claims another win and puts himself now 206 intermediate classification points. So Roman Kamyab, a superb drive for the young Briton ahead of Devon Waltz. Rocco Coronel really closed in on that last lap. Again, understandable, the battle happening between these two cost them a lot of time. Coronel, though, finishing that race a second further down the road. Turner Brown finishing in P4 ahead of Joel Pokelas, 11 places gained to finish in P5. Riley Cranham from Jarrett Clark, Bosco Arias from Marco Gast, Jesse Phillips rounding out the top 10. All three of those last three drivers in the top 10, all 5 places gained. Here's a look at the rest of the results from P10 downwards. Daniel Kelleher, Andrea Mani from Knish Ground, Jean-Mathieu Rousseau and Asher Oshdin having a much better result. NASA panel still secured to that CRG, running at the top 15 out on circuit.
Gustavo da Silva was P16 ahead of Matteo Rivals, Toby Gale, Cara Fairhand and Fausto Arnada. That was the runners in your top 20. A good drive from Marcello Tortato in the 3-1-1, up 11 spots to 21st for CRG. Gilles Herman up 7 to 22nd. Yuri Levar, Vanessa Shilkinace, Edward Kennedy take us down to 25th. Also finishing out there, tough race for Cole Denham. Alexander Dahlstrom as well was in the double figures of positions lost, unfortunately. Roland Nagy